Right, now, you believe this moment is real. The present, the only thing that truly exists. The past has vanished into memory. The future has not yet arrived. This feels obvious, undeniable. But what if it is the most convincing lie your mind has ever told you? What if the relentless forward rush of time, the ticking, the aging, the becoming, is not a feature of reality at all, but a hallucination woven into the very fabric of human consciousness? We speak of time as a river, carrying us from birth toward death, always flowing, never pausing. The metaphor feels true. We can feel the current pulling at us. But more than a century ago, a patent clerk in Bern stared into the equations of the universe and saw something monstrous. The river does not flow, it has never flowed. What we call the passage of time is a frozen landscape, and we are merely travelers tracing a path already carved into the ice. Einstein's relativity demands a radical reimagining of existence. Space and time are not separate. They are stitched together into a single four-dimensional structure, spacetime. And within this structure, every moment that has ever happened or ever will is already there. Physicists call it the block universe. Picture a vast crystalline monolith containing all of history, frozen and complete. Your birth, this very second. The death of the last star, all of it, coexisting, permanent, eternal. A sculpture carved from time itself. In this architecture, there is no universal present. The word now loses its cosmic meaning. It becomes nothing more than a coordinate, a single address inside an infinite structure, no more special than here is special in space. When you say here, you do not believe all other places cease to exist, yet when you say now, you assume all other moments are gone. The block universe whispers a terrifying correction. Every now is real and every now is equally, eternally present. So why do you feel time moving? Why does this moment feel like the leading edge of reality? The bright cursor blinking across a dark page. Because consciousness is not a window onto the universe, it is a process running inside it. Your sense of now is a psychological cursor, an illusion generated by a brain that can only experience one coordinate at a time. The cursor moves, but the page beneath it, the page is already entirely written. To understand this, we turn to Hermann Minkowski, the mathematician who gave Einstein's ideas their geometric skeleton. In 1908, he declared that space alone and time alone were doomed to fade into shadows, and only their union would survive. He fused them into a single mesh, a four-dimensional grid where every event is a point with three coordinates of space and one of time. This is Minkowski spacetime, the stage upon which the entire cosmic drama is permanently inscribed. Within this mesh, nothing simply sits still. Every particle, every atom, every beating heart traces a continuous path through the four dimensions. Physicists call this path worldlines. Your worldline begins at the coordinate of your birth and threads through every breath you will ever take. Every choice, every heartbeat ending at the coordinate of your death. You are not a point moving through time. You are a line, a thread already woven end to end into the fabric of the universe. Imagine the universe as a vast loaf of bread. Space stretches left and right, up and down. But the loaf also has length, and that length is time. Just as the bread extends in every spatial direction, it extends behind you into the past and ahead of you into the future. Every slice of the loaf is a single moment, a snapshot of all space at one instant. The loaf does not bake slice by slice. The entire loaf already exists. This is a staggering claim. The dinosaurs are not gone. They graze in their slice of the loaf, as real as you are in yours. The Roman Empire has not fallen into oblivion. It stands eternal at its coordinates, and somewhere ahead in slices you have not yet reached. Your future self is already living moments you have not yet imagined. Past and future are not states of being. They are merely directions like north and south within the static block. We treat the past as something destroyed, burned away by the advancing flame of the present. But in the block universe, nothing burns. The past is not erased, it is fossilized, permanent, untouchable. Every kiss, every war, every quiet morning is preserved exactly where it occurred, sealed forever into the geometry of space-time. The memories fading in your mind are merely your distance from those coordinates. The events themselves remained vivid and whole, locked into the immortal structure of reality. And if the past is fossilized, then the future must be fossilized too. This is the part that chills the spine. The moment of your death already exists, fixed, dated, located. The final flicker of the last star already burns at its coordinate. The ultimate cold silence of the universe is not a possibility waiting to unfold. It is a place, it is already there ahead of you in the loaf, as solid and certain as this very moment you inhabit now. But the block universe is not merely a philosopher's fantasy, it is forced upon us by the strange behavior of light. Nothing in the cosmos can travel faster than light, and this single rule carves the spacetime mesh into a structure of cones. At every event, a light cone opens, a boundary separating what can be reached from what can never be touched. These cones are the skeleton of causality, the absolute architecture dictating what is possible and what is forever sealed away. Look downward into your past light cone. It contains every event that could ever have influenced you, every photon that has reached your eyes, every cause that shaped this instant. The light from distant galaxies, traveling for billions of years, arrives now inside this cone, carrying images of a cosmos long transformed. Everything you can know, everything that has ever touched you, lies within this downward spreading vector. Outside it, the rest of the past remains causally silent, forever beyond your reach. Now look upward, into your future light cone, the realm of everything you might still affect. Every action you take ripples outward at or below, the speed of light filling this expanding horizon. But beyond its edges lies a vast region you can never influence, no matter how hard you strain. The universe is divided into the reachable and the unreachable, the knowable and the hidden. And these boundaries are not opinions, they are geometric facts etched permanently into spacetime. Then relativity twists the knife. Einstein showed that time is not absolute. It bends, moves faster, and your clock slows, relative to those at rest. Stand near a massive object and gravity itself stretches and warps the passing seconds. Astronauts orbiting Earth age more slowly than those below. Near a black hole, time crawls towards stillness. There is no master clock ticking for the cosmos. Each observer carries their own time, and no two need ever agree on when now truly is. And here lies the paradox that shatters the present forever, because time is relative. Two observers moving differently will slice the space-time loaf at different angles. One person's slice of now may cut through events that for another lie deep in the past or far in the future. A being drifting across the cosmos could share a now with your great-grandchildren while you share yours with the dead. If the present is different for everyone, then every moment must already exist for someone. Follow this logic to its terrifying conclusion. If the future already exists fully formed as physically real as the past, then it cannot be changed. It is not waiting to be decided. It has already happened in the only sense that matters. The universe becomes a deterministic matrix, every event locked into place by the events around it. There are no open roads ahead, no branching paths. There is only the single immutable structure of what already eternally is. Think of what this means for tomorrow. The words you will speak, the people you will meet, the moment you will choose to turn left instead of right. All of it already exists, written into your worldline. You experience these moments as choices, as fresh and undecided. But from the perspective of the block, they were never undecided at all. The future is not a blank page awaiting your pen. It is a finished manuscript and you are merely reading it aloud. This is perhaps the most disturbing implication of all. Free will. The sacred belief that you are the author of your actions may itself be an illusion, as persistent and convincing as the flow of time. You feel that you decide, you feel the weight of possibility pressing against you. But if every coordinate of your life is already fixed, then your sense of choosing is simply what it feels like to be a conscious point traveling along a path it cannot alter. And yet, consider what a decision truly is. It is a pattern of neurons firing, a cascade of electrochemical signals obeying the laws of physics. Each thought is an event in space-time, sitting at its own coordinate, caused by the states that preceded it. Your deepest deliberations, your moments of agonized choice, are physical processes unfolding exactly as the equations demand. The decision was real, the struggle was real, but the outcome was always there, waiting at its appointed coordinate. You are a link in an unbroken causal chain, stretching back to the first instant of the cosmos. The Big Bang set the initial conditions. The laws of physics did the rest. Every star, every planet, every neuron in your skull is the consequence of what came before. To imagine breaking free of this chain is to imagine standing outside the universe itself. And no one, not you, not anyone, has ever stood outside the universe. We are woven entirely within it. But if the universe is truly static, if nothing moves, nothing flows, nothing passes, then we are left with a haunting mystery. Why does time feel so overwhelmingly directional? Why do we remember yesterday but never tomorrow? Why does the cup shatter but never reassemble? The river of time may be frozen, yet we are utterly convinced that it flows. Something must be giving this static structure its powerful sense of direction, and that something is not time itself. The answer lies in thermodynamics, in the relentless tendency of the universe toward disorder. Physicists call it entropy. In one direction along the loaf, entropy is low, order structure, a tightly wound cosmos. In the other direction, entropy is high, dispersed, cooled, run down. This gradient is the true arrow of time. We do not move through time, we simply find ourselves embedded in a structure where disorder increases in one direction, and we call that direction the future. This entropy gradient is the reason your mind works the way it does. A memory is a record, a low entropy imprint left by a past event. You can hold records of the past because the past was more ordered, allowing imprints to form. The future, by contrast, lies toward greater disorder and leaves no such imprints behind. So you remember what came before and stand blind to what comes after. The asymmetry of memory is not about time, it is about entropy. Zoom outward beyond the human scale, and the static nature of the cosmos becomes breathtaking. The great filaments of galaxies, spun across hundreds of millions of light years, are not evolving before our eyes. They are fixed threads within the four-dimensional mesh. Their entire histories, formation, collision, dispersal, already complete within the block. What we perceive as cosmic evolution is merely our slow journey through a structure that was never anything but whole. The web of the universe does not grow, it simply is. And so we return to this moment, the one you are experiencing now. It is not fleeting, it is not slipping away into nothingness. In the block universe, this moment is permanent, frozen forever into the eternal structure of space-time. Long after you have moved on to other coordinates, this instant will remain exactly as it is, untouched and undying. Nothing is lost to the past. Everything that has ever been simply continues to be fixed eternally in its place. This is where the cold terror of the block universe begins, strangely, to soften into something like comfort. For if no moment is ever destroyed, then nothing you love is ever truly gone. Every coordinate of joy, every face you have cherished, every golden afternoon, all of it endures, immortal, sealed into the geometry of reality. The people you have lost have not vanished into oblivion. They remain exactly where they have always been, alive at their coordinates, forever. Think of what this means. The laughter of a childhood long past is not erased. It echoes eternally at its place in the loaf. The first time you fell in love still happens, still burns, still exists. Death does not delete a life, it merely marks its final coordinate. Before that point and after, the world line remains complete and unbreakable. In the block universe, the dead are not the dead. They are simply elsewhere, at moments we can no longer reach. Stand back now and behold the whole. The universe is not a story unfolding scene by scene. It is a single, monolithic matrix, a vast frozen sculpture containing all of space and all of time in one eternal, unchanging structure. Every birth and every death, every triumph and every heartbreak exists together within it, equally real, equally present. We are not actors performing a play that ends. We are figures carved permanently into the marble of existence itself. Einstein spent his final decades hunting for a deeper code, a unified theory binding all of physics into one elegant whole. He never found it, but the vision that drove him remains, the conviction that beneath the chaos of experience lies a perfect timeless order. Whether or not the block universe is the final truth, it captures something Einstein felt to his bones, that time's relentless passage is not woven into the laws of nature, but only into the minds that perceive them. In 1955, Einstein learned that his lifelong friend, Michele Besso, had died. He wrote a letter of consolation to Besso's family, words that would become immortal. He told them not to grieve as the world grieves, for he and Besso understood something the world did not. To Einstein, his friend had not been extinguished. He had simply passed slightly ahead into another region of the same eternal structure they had always shared. And then Einstein offered the line that defines this entire vision. He wrote, "People like us who believe in physics know that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." Weeks later, Einstein himself reached his own final coordinate, but by his own reasoning he did not end. He remains where he has always been, woven into the block. And we, the conscious watchers, the points of awareness crawling along our world lines, are granted the strange gift of witnessing this frozen eternity, one fleeting coordinate at a time. So, the next time you feel time slipping through your fingers, remember the monolith. Nothing is rushing past. Nothing is being lost. You are an eternal pattern, etched forever into the deepest structure of reality. And this moment, this one right here, will exist for all time. If this glimpse into the frozen architecture of the cosmos has stirred something in you, subscribe and journey with us deeper into the strange and beautiful machinery of the universe. Until your next coordinate.